Hey, welcome to the weekly wrap up. Now, I'm a little bit nervous tonight because I'm doing this all by myself, so bear with me as I attempt to do this. And hopefully I've got some people in chat and I can see what you're requesting. I've already got requests from the group. So hi everyone and welcome to Just Me. No Josh, he's on a flight somewhere between Doha and England and or London. So what an exciting day we've had. Exciting couple of days. Well, not so exciting yesterday. Attempted assassination on Trump, which has likely pushed forward crypto a little bit, although this pattern is one that I've been talking about. And we do have blockchain, I think it's in America, happening tomorrow. So that should continue to push the market a little bit higher. So let's quickly jump. Now, I'm going to work out how to do this because it's just me. So let me bring up a Bitcoin chart. Yay, there we go. I did it. So let's have a look. So we have literally just hit 63K. Our pivot that I talked about last week was the highest one was 62,660. We've broken that today. We've smashed through. Now there's a couple of potential patterns. So if this is an ABC, we're turning around fairly soon and we're coming back for a B. Now, this B is likely to hold around 58 and then continue up for a C, which will hold head to about 71. Now, that's going to reject at a resistance. So if that is an ABC and we've got one more wave lower to go, we're going to reject at this resistance here, which is at about 71. So let's take that one off. Now, if this is an impulse, this is what we all want. It is heading to a minimum is 72,389 for that wave one, for the 5 waves here. But likely we're going to hit around 74,500, come back down, and hopefully we hold higher up on that breakout region. So we flip this as this is a resistance here. We've seen it as a resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 rejection here. Now this one, if it gets a rejection, this is a major rejection. We don't want to see that. We want to see this breakthrough. So obviously 74K, come back, retest, and then a continuation up. So now continuation up will likely see, ignore these waves. I'm just going to remove those. We're going to see that magic 87 that I've been talking about for quite some time. But there is a pattern that goes to about 97 or just above 100. So depending on how bullish we get here, we are in a wave 3. So what that would look like is potentially up to this region, holding, heading up to 87, coming back, retesting that wave 1, and then heading higher. So this is going to potentially go to about 97, 98, maybe even touch that 100K magic mark that everyone's been talking about. So 87 is my magic marker for this bull run to start, and I have been talking about that for quite some time. Now, when we jump in, I'm going to put this into a daily chart. And just show you why I think 87 is quite a strong resistance. So when we drag across and we get that resistance region, that's at our 87 mark. So that's why I think that's the top of our wave 3. And then we are pulling back and we are seeing that top of the wave 1. So that's where we're going to get that major pullback just before we do start off and continue on that run. So that's what it's looking for BTC. We want to hit that sort of around election time, pull back when the elections happen, and then we've got that last pullback before we go into the major bull run. So the major run should start between, as I've been saying, September to December, and that's when we're going to start seeing some nice gains. So we have seen that today, and it has been a good day. But we do have the major crypto conference happening this week. So going to the BLX, and I haven't looked at brought this chart up for a while on the show. So it almost came back down to the median line. It's had a really strong bounce on this 2-weekly chart. When we move this up to the monthly, we can get a better indication that this is forming into a doji. We've got 16 days to go for this to be a doji, so that would be ideal. And that would be our wave 1 coming up to this region, coming back down, and then continuing on after the end of the month. So that's ideally what we would like to see. So last week also I spoke about the weekly, I think it was, Ichimuchu, Moko, whoever you would say it. I'm butchering that, sorry. So hang on, let's jump into the cloud and see where we're at, see how we're going. You can see on the weekly, it is now underneath us. On the daily, we are coming up. There's hard resistance at 64,500. You know, hopefully that's going to sort of just go sideways, breakthrough. So this is still on the 18th of July. We can expect that breakthrough. We want to get to at least 72, and that confirms 5 waves. So yeah, that's looking excellent. So Marcus P, last 2 years was bearish in August. Are you expecting to be bearish again this August? If we come up and we've got a wave 1, we're going to see a couple of weeks of bear, and that's more than likely just sideways. If we can hold around this range and get above and hold, bring this down and retest that as support, then yeah, August is going to be a couple of weeks bearish and then going into more bullish. So that is ideally what we'd like to see. Ethereum has just passed the 4-hour 200 SMA. So ideally they want to come down and cross. When we go back down to the hourly, they have crossed already. So at some point it will come back down and retest the MAs. That is a given. They just like to see that it's got support. Now for Ethereum, we are right on the pivot. So this region here is just, we don't know whether it's bull or bear yet. BTC broke that pivot. Ethereum's just hovering on it at the moment. So we really need Ethereum to push up here and to show us that, you know, it is in a bullish pattern. It does look like it's got enough waves when we count down, and this could be a truncated wave. But potentially this could still be only an ABC and coming down from here for Ethereum. I don't want that to happen, but just keep those stop losses moving, take profits as these trades go. So yeah, so on the daily as well, a cup and handle, let's have a look. There's a massive one. I would say more massive inverse head and shoulders. That's to Marcus, who's just messaging from the group. So potentially, if we can break these regions, 64 is the next sort of major region to break. That's where our 100 MA is on the daily here. And that's where we'll see a pullback. Now, we want to hold the daily 200 at the very least on any pullback, which is 59,500. So that then guarantees that these will come up and cross and we'll get bullish momentum going upwards. So yeah. US dollar, USDT is showing that we've potentially got one more pullback, and then which is what we're showing on BTC as well, where we've got that the wave going up, a pullback going back down for, you know, maybe September, October, and then coming back up for the bull run. So once we get to this point, that's our bull run. but we are in this region. We're coming up to a support area on USDT, so just be careful. A lot of people will move back into Tether at this point, especially when we're at resistance points. So what we want to see is BTC dominance starting to grow. It's held the support, and it is starting to grow. So we want to see that continue. We have got a wedge here, and a breakout would be lovely, and then that would continue BTC up on its way. So just remember, we do have quite a heavy resistance at 64, so that's potentially 64,500. That's potentially where we're going for BTC. Then we're going to have that pullback, and we want to hold 59,500. So keep an eye on that as we go. Breaking down below those regions is not going to be good for BTC, because then that breaks our pattern down, and more than likely this is an ABC and we continue down. So as I get my breath, the others has formed a beautiful almost cup and handle, and we should start to see that climb. Our total crypto market cap, excluding ETH and BTC, has bounced in the right area and continuing to bounce. It looks like it's going to reclaim this resistance. So that is really good for alts. We're seeing a lot of bounces happening. Obviously, if BTC starts to pull back at that 64,500 range, we're going to see alts pull back. There's the odd one or two that continue to move, but likely we're going to see a bit of a pullback on those alts. So comments. So quickly jumping in, XRP is one that everyone has been talking about because it did move. It's often moves and then the rest of the market moves. So it had a nice run of about 47%. Now it has pulled back exactly at the pivot. So this is a really important pivot, as I've talked about on BTC and Ethereum. It is 56.54. So breaking that pivot ensures that this is in a bull run. So currently at the moment it's just an ABC and could continue lower. But we want this to sort of fill out in this region, and let me just get some scribbles, fill out in this region and then continue up. So that is the ideal pattern for XRP at the moment. And then of course it's going to $589. So for those that don't know the joke, I think it was back in 2018 or 2019, a very big XRP supporter missed a zero and said XRP was going to $589 instead of, 56 cents. So yeah, but yeah, we all know XRP is going to get to $589 one day. A couple of requests that we've had, Ribbon Finance. Now it's come right back down to the 0.9. It's bounced. It does look like it might get one more retest down low before it really takes off. I really like this project. I'm not paid to say that, but I do like what they're doing. So have a look at it. It has crossed down. We do want to change that on the daily. So if we go back to the 1 hour, we can see that we're starting to get support through there with the M8s. So that should start to create momentum for Ribbon Finance. So likely one more pullback down to about 46, and then it should take off. Another request is Pepe. So I don't know why you guys love these meme coins so much, but oh well, money is money. On the MACD, we can see that we got a cross, we've got a flip, and we're seeing some positive momentum here. We still have bearish divergence on our RSI, so that's never good, which means that this resistance may be just a resistance and we may be coming back down to that 618. So for Pepe, it didn't break through. Now the pivot on Pepe is about 1090. On the daily, this is looking like it may change momentum here for a little bit. But when we drop it back down to the 4-hour chart, we can see that we've got a 200 MA resistance here. So if it doesn't pass that region, which is our pivot, it's probably got one more wave to go to come back down to the golden zone, the 618. Solana. Now, this is a signal if you're in at getting started in crypto. They don't always get all targets, so it's wise to keep moving up as the signal goes. It has crossed positive. That's a 9 and the 21 EMA have crossed. They are looking good. So we want to see basically what's happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum. We want to see a continuation up of these waves. So if we go, I'm just going to bring up a really random alt for you, which is called Popcat. So this has had some really good momentum lately. I've got lots of messy waves on it, but just to show you a pattern that we're seeing across the board. So if we go to Pepe, we can see that we've got this wave down. We've had a wave up, wave down, coming in, consolidating in this region. Now, Popcat did that, had the wave down, consolidated in that region, has just broken that high, has broken the wave one high as well. So that is a potential that could happen for Pepe. Now, the thing to note, Popcat is a lot more bullish because it does have the MAs below. So, but it is coming up to a 4-hour resistance. Our RSI is getting it's super high and has bearish divergence, and we're just sort of waiting for that cross down. So not one to buy now. You've got probably a support around 55 if you did want to get into that or laddered back in, because I do think this one is absolutely going to explode. So from this region up to there is about 160%. So another good one. So sushi, now this is one that I said that had corrected perfectly. It bounced lovely. It's just about to cross the EMAs on the daily, so the 9 and the 21 to a positive momentum. So if we drop that back down to a 4-hour, we can see that we've got some resistance in this region. We want to get above that 100 MA, come up to the 200, test that and pull back. So that's the ideal pattern for this. And then sort of consolidate in this region between those MAs, allow them to cross, and that gives us bullish momentum. So our hourly should be underneath, which it is. And we can see that the next step is getting above those 4-hour MAs. But we're moving in the right way with a lot of these charts. So I can see that my BSV people, Eric, has again in there, and let me do a quick chart for BSV. So nice bounce off support, so went right back down again. BSV does like to do that, and has had a strong bounce. It does have enough waves, but it is at the pivot at the moment. So like a lot of charts are, it's at the pivot. So it could go either way here. Now for BSV, we want to hold any pullback at $40, and that is going to become a support. If we can hold that, break this pivot that we're at the moment, then BSV can see upper levels. 105 is looking good for BSV. So hopefully that the sound was okay. I didn't have anyone to test it with, and everything went well today. And yeah, so I will see you back next week, hopefully with Josh. He won't be on a plane. And yeah, we'll bring you more of the weekly wrap up. Now, if you want any charts, you're in getting started in crypto, please jump into the chat. We're always there to help you out. And you can always ask me on Twitter. So yeah.